Hello and welcome to Sport for Business, where the latest in our series of interviews with the commercial heads of the four proud provinces of Ireland is with Philip Patterson, who fulfills that role over in Connacht Rugby. Philip has been in the role for 3 months and is, by all accounts, thoroughly enjoying it. You are very welcome for the first time to Sport for Business, Philip.
Thank you for having me, Rob.
Tell me, I won't burden you with the question I have asked of your colleagues about how it has been throughout the past 18 months, but you've come into the role and you become the person who is now part of the team about reopening, re-engaging with the players, with the team, with the fans, with the community. How is that going at the moment?
It's going very well on the whole. It's been a difficult time for everybody. And I think, there's a real excitement about getting back to live sport. And I think, moreover, just about getting out of the house and kind of re-engaging with other people and connecting with people again. So, there is an excitement in the air. We're very, very excited. We've had our first kind of pre-season friendly, and we're looking forward to the start of the URC season. But that being said, there's also a cautious optimism because we know that as we re-emerge from COVID to the new normal, people may be slightly nervous. Some people may be more adventurous than others. So we just have to make sure that as we reopen the sports ground for everybody to enjoy rugby once again, that we have everybody, as we always do, at our hearts as we're planning and as we're developing things for the reopening.
You've got a great slate of partners from both national and local. Our own partners in Rugby, Bank of Ireland are one of those key ones, along with Genesis. How has the relationship building been over the few months that you've been in? Because none of them signed up to partner with a club that wasn't going to be able to open its doors. So there will have been challenges to have been met and possibly compromises to have been agreed on. But how have you found the relationship across the broad spectrum?
Do you know what, Rob? It's been good. It's been very good. Now, admittedly, I'm coming in at the back end of that. But from what I've seen and in all of my kind of daily interactions with the partners so far, it's been very, very positive indeed. And of course, as you rightly say, nobody signs up for something that we've all had to live through over the past 18 months. But do you know what? That's the benefit of being in a partnership, and that's what partnership is about. It's about compromise. In many instances, we couldn't deliver everything, and partners understood that. So we did our best to make good in a number of instances, and we developed and we delivered other initiatives and other projects for partners that they may not have had otherwise. So I think, that compromise, that partnership has really kind of strengthened the relationship, I think, in many, many cases. But, as we emerge from COVID, some partners, such as the Bank of Ireland and such as Leia, have started to find really innovative ways, I would suggest, to invest with us that both increases their footprint, but then also opens them up to new audiences. And I can't say too much about exactly what's being planned and what those initiatives might be, but we'll definitely see more exciting ways of those two brands in particular, of re-engaging with our fans as we start to emerge from COVID. And they're just two examples. We've found through this whole process that most of our partners have stuck with us, and we're delighted to be able to say that, and that's, everybody from, smaller independent businesses within the Galway area and within Connacht to those larger multinationals that will have offices all over the world. And it hasn't been easy all of the time, but we're glad to say that, we're emerging the other side with a really, really strong roster of partners who have both reinvested with us, as I've said, like Bank of Ireland and Leia, people who are coming up with new and exciting ways of educating fans, whether it's through Connecticut or whether it be with partners like Red Bull. And those smaller partners who really want to invest in the region and get the best out of Connacht, and the beauty and everything that area has to offer, such as the Connacht Hospitality Group, always looking and striving for different and more engaging ways to engage with our fans as we emerge. And I think that's the theme. It's how do we do things differently and how do we become more engaging? So there'll be lots of that to come, I would suggest, as we kind of enter the new season.
And a lot of those brands that you've mentioned there are part of the Sport for Business network as well. So I really look forward to tracking those initiatives as they come through, because the playbook has been, kind of torn up and recreated, and there is going to be a lot of imagination there. The sense of Connacht has always been that you've been very keen on the grassroots to green shirts, the local community side of things that you've been very keen on. Because the West of Ireland is renowned for its sporting interests. You've got the GAA, you've got soccer very strong in the city, you've got the races, you've got all sorts of different things there. But you're the one that actually gathers them together under the Connacht umbrella. Is that something which is very important within the DNA of the club?
That can never be underestimated. That is extremely important to everything that we do. Community is everything to us. As you rightly say, we are the only sporting brand, or the only business indeed, that can legitimately touch all of the counties within the province, and bring people on a journey with us. So, that is a crown that we don't wear lightly. It's extremely important to us. We have a very, very strong club and community team who are out and about in rugby clubs, in schools, in youth clubs, day in and day out, kind of working with our partners and working with those institutions on kind of getting the game out there, and increasing our fan base. And as we go forward, we too will be looking at how we engage the wider community in Connacht, and look at kind of Connacht Rugby, but also kind of rugby in Connacht as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right. One of those few entities that can do that, and as a result of that, something that is very, very central to everything that we do, and will continue to be, maybe even more so as we go forward.
There is the sense that you've got the professional team, and the United Rugby Championship is just underway now last weekend, and very exciting about the new possibilities that brings forward. You're also obviously connected through the rugby ecosystem with the clubs and the colleges and everything else. But when it comes to the professional team and the re-engagement with fans, is that something that you work closely with in terms of the partners? You've mentioned the fact that there will be some really good initiatives there, but what is the club actually driving at the moment in terms of its digital engagement in order to actually make people feel comfortable about getting back into the in-person events?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, you've kind of hit, I think, the nail on the head when you say digital. I think, as we move forward, content will be front and center, and we will need to develop more of that, and we will need to get better at what we do from a content perspective. Everybody is looking for content, and that content needs to be sticky. And when I say sticky, I mean kind of really interesting and engaging and small snackable pieces that are delivered with frequencies, so that people can kind of almost graze on that content throughout the day and throughout the week. So yeah, we need to do that. Our partners understand that content is very, very important for engagement. And I think, for people who may not be able to get into the sports ground, or feel that they can't come back for the first few games for whatever reason, but don't feel comfortable perhaps doing that, content becomes very, very important. But then, as we continue to progress and emerge from COVID, experience is also going to be extremely important. I think, if any of us have learned one thing from the past 18 months, it's the importance of human connection. and how our community and how our people and how people around us, really matter to our health and our well-being. So I think, that deeper connection, that experience is going to become all the more important in everything that we do as a brand, but I also think everything that our partners do as they execute and as they bring fans with them along that journey.
Now, your game in the United Rugby Championship against Ulster has been moved up to the Aviva Stadium, and it is going to be one of the first professional sports games of any note to be played here post October 22nd, when we'll have all of our freedoms back. So it could be a very big capacity up in the Aviva. How exciting is that for you?
Well, first of all, let's hope it is a large capacity game, and we're extremely excited about this. So as you rightly say, our URC fixture against Ulster, on the 23rd of October will be at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. It was a very, very generous and kind offer by the IRFU when they called us a couple of weeks ago and said, look, what do you think about this? And it's not every day, Rob, that, your team or any team is offered the opportunity of playing at the home of Irish rugby. Let's face it. And so when it was offered to us, it was one that we really just couldn't pass up. It also, we believe, allows us to thank our fans for their continued and committed support. And it allows us to do that in far greater numbers than we could have ever have done safely, even though the restrictions will be lifted at the sports ground. As you rightly say, it's taking place the day after all of the restrictions are due to be lifted in Ireland. And so we're really seeing this as an opportunity for a celebration, almost a coming together to celebrate as a group and as a team, as we mark our next steps, both as that team, but also as society. And I think, it also, in doing that and in talking to you today, we should also acknowledge the thousands of people who also live in Dublin and in the East Coast who don't always get the opportunity to come back to Galway for a game at the sports ground. So, this is our way of also reconnecting them and helping them reconnect to their roots on the West Coast for the first time. And something that I only learned recently is that, this will also be the first time that Connacht Rugby will play at the redeveloped Lansdowne Road Stadium in front of a crowd. So that is just a tremendous opportunity. It's a one-off opportunity, and one that, the team are really excited about, the coaching staff are excited about, and really offers us an opportunity of just saying thank you to everybody and offering it up as a celebration.
That really will be great, very exciting. And of course, it's ahead of, well, you're in the process of creating one of the new homes for Irish rugby as well with the sports grounds, the redevelopment of that. How has that been impacted throughout the sort of the COVID period, and what's the timetable that you're heading towards at the moment? Yeah.
Well, look, like everything, COVID has had an impact on our plans, and we may have been slowed a little bit, but nevertheless, the plans are still there. We are still moving ahead as fast as we possibly can. The funding is secured, and we are ready to start the process of building the new sports ground. And that project will continue, or will start rather, at the end of this coming season, when we will hopefully be turning the sod and laying our new 4G pitch at the sports ground, which we're all extremely excited about. Then following that, we will start the phased process of the physical redevelopment of the buildings within the facility, so that a couple of years after that, we'll be able to welcome a much increased capacity to some of the best facilities, if not the best sporting facilities on the west coast of Ireland. So something that we're all very, very excited about, very, very proud to be working on, and particularly because it will allow our fans to engage again. A theme of this afternoon's discussion, it will allow our fans to engage on a different level with the club and with the players, from a digital technology, immersive content, and an experience point of view. So something that everybody is extremely excited about.
It is a very exciting time, I'm guessing, to be in Connacht. You have delivered on the field and with the local fans as well. The support base is incredibly strong. I think you're probably everybody's second favourite team across all of the other provinces as well, which is a nice thing to have. But the very best of luck with the season ahead, with all of the new initiatives. Look forward to following those. For the time being, though, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Philip Patterson from Connacht Rugby.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time today, Rob.